nothing's changed in a month. The last video with this thing, I was wearing a insulated flannel and a hoodie, and today I have two fans going, one down there and one up over here. So if you hear a little wind in the background, it's because it's 95 degrees outside, and it's like, let me look quick. It's about almost 88 in here right now, according to my old school thermometer over there. But the garage door is shut, and it's keeping some of the humidity out. They are calling for storms later, so the weather's getting kind of weird on us right now. But last 3 days have been 95 plus. Today heat index was like 110. But we have made some headway on this thing, and I regret not filming stuff. I'll say it again. Filming is kind of a hard thing to do when I'm trying to get stuff done during the week for a couple hours here and there. Like I said, it turns a 2-hour project into a 4 or 5 hour project, and sometimes I don't have that time to go by. So I think you'll be stoked with what I can show you, and you didn't really miss anything as far as any real like hard fab work or any tech stuff. And what you didn't see, I can catch you up on right now, but it's got a clutch in it. That's pretty cool. So I'll show you what that means in a minute. But I'll catch you up on a few things I've finished up on, and then we'll be going on kind of how I set up the clutch to start with. It's kind of a generic tune-up, and then a couple other little things. So where to start? First thing you probably notice is I did finish my wastegate dump, which just mimics my exhaust on the other side. Kind of, maybe a little excessive, but I think it looks cool, and it'll be kind of neat when I'm up on the two-step. It'll look like a kind of dual exhaust matching with flames barking. Kind of cool. Last night I did finally order the front sprocket cover for the slave cylinder mount, and I ordered a slave cylinder, so I'll be able to button that up so we can actually function the clutch. What else? I think I truly think that's about all I've really monkeyed with. I made a couple. Nope, you saw that in the last video, the fairing mounts. I think everything was pretty much as it sits, minus the fact that, I fit the diaper. So in there, I got the diaper on the bike. So for a Busa motor in a 1000, the diaper actually fits pretty okay. It catches, it's got completely encased the oil filter, catches all of the oil pan. Yeah, I mean, that's a tight fit, but it works as per our rules for our local series we run. Got to have a diaper. And then, yeah, I got a clutch in here. I took the cover off so you could see I wasn't lying to you. But I got my little specs I can reference on the frame. Best to have notes so I don't have to remember nothing. I don't have a bunch of static pressure in here right now because I'm not sure how this is going to feel, because there's 6 springs on here. My 1000 had 5, so we'll see how that difference feels. I'm only running 1 weight on each arm. It came with 2. We're taking some weight off to start with initially. It came with some pretty soft dynamic springs. We changed them out right away to some 1821s. So there's 3 18 springs in there, 3 21 springs. A little bit on the stiffer side, but I'm trying to keep this from locking up right away. I need to work into where I want them weights to work. So I'm going to work on static first, then we'll work on weight on the arms. This tune-up should get me kind of close, I'm hoping, to where I was with the 1000. We're going to be kind of at a different power level area as far as where it's making power and stuff, different RPM range. So it will be different, but I'm pretty confident in my base tune that it'll at least get me an initial hit on the starting line, and then we can make changes from there looking at data logs and stuff. But yeah, so I got a clutch in there. I have not done anything with the tune other than I went into the laptop and changed all of the RPM limits, because obviously I'm not taking the Busa motor, I'm not taking it up to 13,200 RPM. So I changed some stuff for that. I changed some 2-step settings. The burnout setting, I changed some of that. Just a lot of the RPM range stuff is a little bit different. I didn't touch any of the mapping. I re-educated myself on some of the basically like the accelerator pump settings in the ECU to get me closer to where I probably should have been even with the 1000. I got a better understanding of it anyways. So I made those changes, and yeah, really it was just a bunch of simple stuff. I changed the crank trigger. Still don't run a cam position sensor because I don't like the fact that those failed on me like 3 times on the 1000 at inopportune times. But yeah, so I'm only relying on the crank pickup, and yeah, we're really getting down to the last few nuts and bolts on this thing. But for now, I'm going to put that cover back on, and I'm going to show you something. So I got that buttoned up, and we'll go ahead and fire this thing up here, fire up the ECU. So right now, the tire is at 87 degrees, and the engine coolant temp down here, up in that corner there, reading 86, 85. So we're real close on the tire, which is out in the open, and the engine temp, which was just off the cylinder head. So this is a cold start, and I have not touched with this tune. Like I said, other than some RPM settings and changing the crank pickup settings, this is how it ran on the 1000. And funny enough, that's still my 1000 plenum, throttle bodies, injectors. The whole top half of this is still off 1000. But O2 is warmed up. And like I said, cold start. Not too shabby. Like I said, it fired right up. Like I couldn't tell you. So like that's not the first time I've started it. Like I didn't just fire up the camera and hit the button for the first time unknowingly. But that's how it went. It literally, when I was ready to fire this thing up, I changed out the fuel, topped off the oil, did the clutch base tune, clutch setup, and just kind of double checked everything. Turned the power on, I hit the key, and the thing popped off right away and idled. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, the simplicity of Fuel Tech. Like, I wasn't, like, out in left field with a tune. I did have my 1000 tune to go off, but it just made it so easy. Now I just got to kind of dial things in, and when I finally get the front sprocket cover and the slave cylinder on there, I'm going to start doing some two-step checks, and I'm going to start taking some data logs. I haven't made any data logs yet. Like, the laptop's not even hooked up to it. Like, I haven't taken any data logs or anything. I gotta go outside for a second. Or actually, I'll just turn that fan on so you can bear with the noise for a minute. It is hot in here. You can probably see I'm gonna be sweating through this shirt in a minute again. I turned the fans off so I could talk, and it's killing me. It's legit. It's too hot to be productive. I'm hot all day at work. It was 95 degrees in the shop at work, and I'm fully geared up in welding, gear, welding inside of an aluminum trailer, just pounding heat into aluminum. So I'm sitting on aluminum heater basically. But Sorry, I'm trying to move around and catch a little bit of the breeze. The exhaust is hanging around in here yet. Kind of dark over here. Let's see. I'm really hoping that fan doesn't throw you off. But my hand's wet from swiping my face. I can't tell you how stoked I am on this whole deal. Just like, every time I've done work on a bike, everything just keeps getting better and better and better, and it'll never be like super high end, like mega dollar build. This is like garage built, making do with what I got, crap kind of build still. So there's some stuff on there that might not look as neat or as tidy as what somebody else can do, but it's the way it is for reasons, for my own reasons, whether it be simplicity or just what I had on hand. Like, I don't want to pay extra for anything I don't need. If I gotta kind of do it my way, which is a little below standard of like a big build shop or something, what they can do with the equipment they have, I'm fine with that. I love this bike. But yeah, now that I got the clutch, and I know for a fact that the motor runs, the motor's good, because that's the first time I fired that motor up. I haven't really gone through that thing like top to bottom. It's as I bought it, other than I put case studs in the bottom end, and I did billet shift shafts, just like a few odds and ends stuff that while I had the motor apart. I did a windage tray in the bottom for that oil pan I bought. Yeah, so it was very, very satisfying to hear that motor fire up and crank and run as smooth as it does. No funny noises. Oil pressure is awesome. I want to change a few things on the motor. I mean, it's not exactly a combo I would build from scratch, but it's like 95% that combo. So I'm going to run it and get data and just try to make laps this year. I miss running this bike. It's literally been almost 1 year exactly that I took it out of service last year because I was out of parts for the 1000 to scab a motor together. And I figured if I got to start buying new stuff, I might as well start buying new Hayabusa stuff. And initially I didn't do this project like 2 years ago. I wanted to do this, and I bailed. I chickened out because I was like, well, I'm going to have to buy another clutch. I have no Busa parts. I'm going to have to buy a whole nother clutch. I'm going to have to buy all the top end, the fuel stuff, injectors, fuel rail, throttle bodies, intake, turbo plenum. Like, I guess I probably could have made a turbo plenum, but they're just so easy to come by. But yeah, I was gonna have to buy a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I'll run the 1000 until I'm out of parts. And that time came last year at about this time, so it's been a year since I've even made passes on this bike, and it feels like 5 years at this point. So I'm very excited to get out and make laps. I'm telling myself right now I'm not going to lean on it that hard. I just want to run it. If I can sort of by the end of the year progress to roughly the point I was at where I left off with the 1000, I'll be happy. Once I get to that point, then we can kind of shoot a little higher and start going for like our all-time goals. But I can't really do a lot of work out here. It's just too hot. And like I said, we got storms coming. Hopefully the weather will crack and it'll cool off. I think the next 3 or 4 days are calling for storms, and hopefully we're at least in the 80s. But there's literally sweat running down my back right now. I got to get these fans turned back on. But yeah, not a lot of major work to do other than get that slave cylinder set up so we can start making some passes and doing some tuning. When I do get the laptop out and start tuning on the thing, taking data logs, I might go through some of that with the Fuel Tech, and maybe making videos on that will help me kind of, I got to refresh myself because I've literally just kind of taken time off from all of that. And I'm going to have to relearn a lot of things that I just haven't done in repetition enough to really remember that well. So we'll get digging into the Fuel Tech software, kind of refresh myself on that before we get back into racing season, where I'm going to really have to know it. Kind of like riding a bike, you don't totally forget it. You just kind of you worry too much about what you might have forgot until you dig in and you're like, yeah, I remember doing this. But for now, that's where we stand, and hopefully I get my parts by the weekend, and maybe we can do some two-step checking. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked that it, like I say, it just fires up and idles. And actually, with the tune from the 1000, at least around the idle area, It's only correcting like 10%, and it's adding 10% fuel. So that's pretty close for just a fire up switching bikes entirely, or switching switching motors entirely. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. It's where we stand, and we'll see you in the next video.